up, and hopefully
Let's
that
go guys,
ALPHA7 with
game
this
kedua
lineup,
ya,
it will be a little bit more
antara
smooth
Onic melawan
sailing,
ALPHA7.
as opposed to the previous game. You know, previous game they also kind of want to bank in on the early game lead that they have, or rather they want to bank in on early game leads. Right now with the Nolan as well as the Badang, and technically speaking they also do have Hylos is pretty great, pretty tactical at late stage as well. Juicin just making sure that Keyboy would not have that easy of a entrance to the backlines of ALPHA7.
The most amazing thing about the Hylos is that he can slow down Onic and speed up ALPHA7. That's one of the primary ways that they can potentially lock down Sans. Because if Sans already used the flicker, then he can just charge in, bring in Vanguard, bring in Syndra, bring Kingzilla, and then it's all up to Syndra just to pull someone back in. So this is why I like, hold on, Gusta Lagusta taking a lot of damage. If Kairi was level 4, 100% would have killed Gusta Lagusta there.
Now, one thing that I always forget when it comes down to Hylos is the fact that, okay, we'll hold on for a second as we've got Ryota that actually finds himself in a pretty oppressed spot, and Keyboy himself as well. ALPHA7 is very engaging and a lot more aggressive this time. But back to my point, I really want to remember and remind everyone that when it comes down to Ring of Punishment from the Hylos, additionally to the Dom Eyes, it is a really good answer to heroes that really want to go for attack builds.
Oh yeah, yep, for sure. So Severo might have a hard time unless they just really focus on Takashi. But honestly, looking at the lineup, I don't think they have a lot of bursts for Takashi. So Takashi should not die early.
Yeah, but the only problem that I see is possibly with such a big wall from Takashi, he might actually just overstay his welcome, because yeah, he can take shots after shots. That also means that Sans will be giving shots after shots and just really building up a lot of those tanks over a long time. But in the meantime, Kairi is gonna be the first person to be taken down, in fact, by the hands of Takashi. While we are on that note, we do have the Lord that has been taken. Lord, the Turtle that has been taken away by Onic. So it's kind of like a 1-for-1 trade at this moment.
Yeah, now Severo, he might know what's coming up. Vanguard now level 4. They're gonna force engage onto Severo. He's not surviving this one. Or am I eating my words too soon? Severo trying to get away. Gets a kill onto Vanguard. Severo!
Double kill.
Oh, Severo!
Is he? Oh my god, what? What?
Gusta's going up next.
Dude, what is that? Cassacres, I say he's gonna die, he gets a double kill? What's up with that?
Dengan Moskopnya ya.
Hey, look, this is LaFell speaking after all. Have you forgotten your brand?
Dude, yeah, but he got ganged by 3 people. By a Badang, by a Jushin, and by a Harif. And he got a double kill. Let that sink in. Oh my god. Bro,
damn!
I mean, Keyboy helped for one of those kills, but still, dude.
Still, it's Severo. It is all on Severo. We gotta hype this up. This is potentially the last game. Let's not forget about that. And ALPHA7, they didn't have a very good game in the previous one. They would want to bank it all in for this game, just so that they have a little bit of a lifeline by getting a little bit more points from this round robin stage.
Yeah, dude, that thing should get clipped. You know, Onic should clip that and be like, look at our boy. Look at our rookie. You know, he's really popping off. 4 minutes in, he got his first item.
Gonna be going pretty much ham. And let's not forget, I think that the Spear of Destruction should be coming in anytime soon, especially since Takashi and Vanguard, I think that they have already been spotted out by Onic. Whenever possible, if they really want to pick up this fight, they can very potentially be able to, especially since we talked about the fact that Severo did manage to pick up quite a few items already. A lot of information is given away. Onic prepares himself for a lot of a beat, but in the meantime, Red Carpet is just going to be taken out for the side of Takashi, hoping they will be able to deal enough damage over to the side of Ryota. But Ryota is just walking away with half HP. He's not afraid at all. Sanguine Claws connect down to Takashi. He's walking away, but unfortunately, that is going to be the way. The Dragon just going to be connecting down right onto Vanguard, and now he's still going to be staying alive. But in fact, it is Ryota that finds himself taken away and taken down throughout all of that. It would have been great if Savero joined in the action with the Spear of Despair.
I feel like that's a lot of wasted potential coming from ALPHA7 because when Takashi opened the Glorious Pathway in the first place, I feel like they could have hard engaged and they really could have gotten a kill. And then Vanguin, he was able to catch 2 people in Fist Break, and then he was using the Fist Crack. He stopped the Fist Crack so early because he had a lot of HP. He was not on the verge of death. I really feel like he should have stayed his ground, and then at the last moment, he used the flicker to get away. So I don't know. I kind of feel like ALPHA7, that they should have gotten more kills. That's my opinion.
Well, possibly so. I mean, there is definitely some of the smaller that we're hoping for. But speaking of opportunities, Kairi jumped in with the Kingzilla, found Kingzilla, and Keyboy unfortunately did not quite manage to touch just yet. But in the meantime, down in the bottom lane, small little skirmish, but it's not gonna end to it's not gonna fall to anything bad.
Blue team turret has been
Looking
destroyed.
at ALPHA7 at get his turret bottom, Vanguin using the conceal, probably just to push Kairi away. Speaking of which, do you know that this is the current trend of using conceal? Really just to push people away. Like, you don't even catch them. Just by
pop it.
Yeah, just shing, and then people are like, oh no, someone's gonna catch me, so we get priority over the bushes.
Ah. Wait, what the hell? That's not supposed to work that way. But I guess this is more of like mental fortitude.
Yeah,
At one point in time, I'm just gonna wait for that one moment in time. The team just be like, you know what? Come at me. Do it. Do it.
So we're now having the golden staff. So this time, the Spear of Destruction will deal quite a lot of damage. Not in terms of the spear itself doing damage, but meaning like when he arrives, a lot of damage can come in. So ALPHA7, despite Onic looking very good, there's really no big difference in terms of the gold lead. ALPHA7, they have a drop that they can start fights, but they're not starting fights here.
I mean, I guess they are making that by getting themselves a little bit more advantage over the turtle and getting themselves that priority. In fact, priority indeed. Kingzilla gets the turtle while that red carpet just kind of blows it all the way down, ensuring that Takashi is just pushing everyone else away.
Yeah, but do you see how much HP Takashi lost? You didn't,
Actually,
because he didn't, right?
Oh.
Onic does not have the damage, so that's why I kind of feel like ALPHA7 should have just, forced. They really could get some kills. Like this.
Speaking of forcing, like this, yes! This is gonna be jumping on Keyboy, but unfortunately he does have a Jakundo to get himself away from all of that. But take a look at the knockup! Oh, Vanguin as well as Takashi knocked up, and these are the 2 front lines from ALPHA7 that has been taken down. They sought our advice, they went for it, only to be punished by Onic. Where did all that damage come from? Savero?
I give up, man. Like,
LaFell, maybe not make calls like that.
I stand my ground. They just couldn't do it, okay? Maybe it's really in a Southeast Asian in me. Like, I can see it. Like, dude, we can fight here. It's like, oh no. Yeah. Maybe watching the games, I'm becoming more Indo.
Well, technically speaking, in terms of meta, MY and ID's matches are quite similar, right? So maybe learn a little bit of BI. I think you can play them pretty well.
Yeah.
Split put aja ya.
Speaking of which, right now, Onic definitely scaling up quite well. It's a very slow game compared to most of the other games we had today. Almost 10 minutes in and only 6 kills in total. Sun's now having the Wishing Lantern definitely will deal quite a lot of damage onto Takashi. So Takashi is the tankiest boy, now not so much. So I kind of feel like his window has stopped, has shrunken. Opportunity loss, whatever things you want to say regarding the same act of looginess.
Looginess.
Loogies in Malay, by the way.
Yeah. In the meantime, we do have the Lord that's going to be contested from the side of ALPHA7, but here comes Keyboard with a kick. But unfortunately, Kairi is the one that steals it right under the nose of ALPHA7. That picks up 2 kills, more, make that 4 kills. Coming in from Onic, they have got everything away and out from ALPHA7, while Onic didn't even lose a single person from their onslaught.
Red team turret has
Tadi
been
udah baru
3,000
bro.
gold
Itu
lead.
makin
This
gila
feels
kena
like a
keyboard.
7,000 gold lead, man. Like, Onic came in, got absolutely everything. Like, ALPHA7, they started the Lord, and then Keyboy came in. Keyboy
And then
Keyboy King Zilla. And then once Keyboy kicked him, it was a free Lord for Kairi. Savero came in, did Savero thing, got a few kills, got a few assists. Actually, no kills, but assists.
Honestly, that was kind of wretched, right? I mean, Onic entered that fight with, if I'm not wrong, about 700 gold lead. Like, only 700 gold lead. As such, right after the battle, with the Lord advantage and all of that kind of jazz, they have effectively racked up a total of 5,000 gold lead just within, what, 30 seconds of a team fight? ALPHA7 now probably don't even have any ideas to gauge what kind of lead Onic has got. So very likely they are going to contest for this, and they would want to defend whatever that they could before losing out every single one of these full defenses.
That moment shows in business you just need to go viral once, and then your sales will skyrocket.
I'm looking out for
Red team
more.
base turret has been destroyed.
That's that one. But bottom lane inhibitor turret is gonna be taken down by a quick little split push from the side of Savero. 12 minutes in. This is the kind of gameplay, or rather, this is the kind of, I guess, pacing that we're kind of expecting from this game. Especially since ALPHA7, they are a team that kind of want to bank in the early stages because of the amount of pacing that they have gotten, or rather, the amount of pacing that they could have got through the Nolan. And I think that they didn't really manage to make full use of the fact that they drafted a Nolan jungle for themselves.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the initiation coming in from ALPHA7 is, lack of a better word, very weak. Now Keyboy kicks Takashi, and Takashi is supposed to be the toughest boy. But we see a team fight coming in here. Riona is very low. Syndra gets a kill onto Keyboy. And now ALPHA7 gets a good fight, but unable to really do more out of it.
Yeah, and just like that, Takashi actually lost half HP within a very short amount of time. I gotta have to say that throughout those entire battles, it's more of Takashi trying to get a really a hold of how Onyx gonna do with them. Onyx definitely have got all of the answers for ALPHA7's lineup at this point in time. They don't even have got the damage anymore to deal with Onyx. Takashi can take a lot of damage, yes, but I don't think that they have the means to really secure this Lord, and Onyx probably just gonna give that to them.
Now you can see Ryota getting locked up by Vanguard, but the Zaman Force already has been used. Oh, and Savero goes in! Savero wants Vanguard, and now Savero wants Gusta Lagusta. Killing spree for Savero with one good speed of destruction. Onic now controls the Lord.
Oh man, 2 deaths from the side of ALPHA7. Well, only 1 death from the side of Ryota. Throughout all of that fight, it really just boils down to Onic just kind of retreating a little bit, giving ALPHA7 that false sense of success, the false sense of confidence. And then shortly after, within a single snap of a finger, they launched immediately onto ALPHA7. Leaves no time for ALPHA7 to even respond.
For me, it's just a little too weak coming in from ALPHA7. Like, at this point, they got a little bit courageous starting a fight. But at this point, it's like, you know, your damage pulls off. Onyx defenses has risen. They can get some kills, but they should have gotten that kills much earlier, because I want to talk about how their engagement. Takashi hasn't really engaged much. Vanguard hasn't engaged much, and Syndra and King Zilla is just waiting. Like, guys, do something so that we can follow up.
I think that one of the other things that Gusta Lagusta is having a little bit of problem with really boils down to that Sanguine Clause. Because the range of a Sanguine Clause is huge. In fact, it envelopes almost like 80% of the entire Zaman Force, which kind of puts Gusta Lagusta in a very tough spot to remotely be able to do anything once you drop down the ultimate.
And now Takashi is holding the board just in front of their face. It looks like he is successful. Takashi just received quite a lot of damage here.
It's gonna be tough. With the only turret in the middle lane standing, ALPHA7 Esports, they need to hold this down as much as possible. That is still about 100 seconds until the Lord eventually comes up. But Onic, they are not in a rush. They know, okay, we have an ever-skilling Sicilian that will work for ourselves. So why kind of rush it when we know that we are guaranteed a win in the later stages in the end game?
Yeah, they can legit just wait for Lord. While waiting for Lord, just give space so that Sans can get free stacks. Because again, like it's just gonna be good. Now Takashi, Lord is halfway in front, but just trying to slow things down. Zaman Force being used to clear out the minions. Gusta Lagusta trying to deal as much damage as he can, but he's in a very rough spot. Like if he overextends, he's gonna get taken down by Onic.
Yeah, especially since I think that ALPHA7, they don't have a very good way to catch on to someone. So Gusta Lagusta doesn't have a very good person to really focus down. They can't just lock down as much as possible. So Onic, they do have quite a bit of ways that can just move the high ground from Sicily. It's kind of tough to get to close the gap to remotely be able to do anything to Onic.
And looking at the items for Sicilian, the only item left that he can build is either go straight for the like sell the elegant gem and maybe pick up something like punch or an immortality, or just complete item for elegant gem. But looking at Wishing Lantern as well as Divine Glaive really does make it so that Takashi can't take the damage coming in from Sans, because stacks, sure, high, whatever, but the effects coming in from Wishing Lantern and Divine Glaive makes it so that if you have high defense or high HP, you're gonna get taken down. Takashi has both, so you know he also is gonna get taken down pretty fast.
It's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Takashi will die anyways, especially you're going up against Sans. And Sans just even picked up the Lightning Trinket, so he's even managed to, find more people. Boom! Everyone's just gonna be knocked down in an instant. Like as though Sans don't do enough damage.
Yeah, like, again, I thought he had enough, so just pick up like an immortality or winter would be fine, but he's like, nuh-uh, they're not touching me. I'm 0 dead. Which, to be fair, yeah, no one's touching him.
Yeah, no one's touching Sans at all. Now that you mentioned it, no one's literally going over to the back lines, especially since the only one that can realistically be able to just jump over the back lines is Kingzilla. But so far, the gaps between the front lines of ALPHA7 to Sans is probably a little bit too much, and that's probably also too much for ALPHA7 to handle, to the point that they have to play a front-to-back game instead of Kingzilla just shifting over to the backlines and just dealing with the big problem.
Now with the Lord marching in, Zaman Force has been used. ALPHA7 is going to try their hardest to make sure that the game doesn't end. Here, Sans gets killed onto Banget. Savero free hitting from the side. Monster Fall Kairi, and now they're going to end the game. ALPHA7, nothing can be done. Onic ID closes the day with a 2-0.
ALPHA7 dibantai 2-0. Oke lah, kita lanjut ke match selanjutnya.